be heard. Call us, text us. Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM, the Wake Up Guyana Show. Yes.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome once again to this edition of the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and you are tuned in live to our studios here on Saffron Street, Charlestown, Georgetown. We coming to you live on 99.1 in Esquibel and Demerara, and in Berbice you could get us on 99.5 FM. If you're on Facebook, it is Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or YouTube, Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing today, and wherever you're joining us from, I want to say a good day to you, a pleasant good day or good evening to you. And I want to tell you that there's some major breaking news today. James Bond, my name is James Bond, arrested today with regards to some land deals on the east bank of Demerara. And you would know this is not any ordinary case. It has to do, it's going to test this government and the police involvement in a case which is pointing to some land giveaway. And it's not over yet. As we speak right now, there are other investigations lined up at the Guyana Lands and Survey. This particular one involves National Industrial and Commercial Investments Limited. That's NISIL. That's a state-owned company that looks after investments on behalf of the government and the government assets. So right about now, before we delve into that, we would tell you that it is November the 24th, 2020, and there are a couple of things that we should also be telling you. Like, for example, there was a man this morning that was killed.
That was killed this morning here on the east bank of Demerara Public Road there. And it is a very tragic thing. I think it's right in the Agricola area. You'd recall a few months back there was a tragic killing of a little girl. It's not too far from that. The difference in this particular case is when the road was open for the 3 lane, it looks as if the man was not even aware that the road was open, and so the common traffic, he was not looking the other way, and he was killed unidentified. And this happened this morning during the rush hour. So that's a very tragic case there. If the gentleman has been identified, our deepest condolences is coming here from Kaieteur Radio, Kaieteur News. It is not a very good thing when we see one of our own that lose their life on the road, especially by any unnatural means. We are going to tell you that today also the President and the First Lady, President Irfan Ali and First Lady Ari Ali, they're both in Suriname, and he is supposed to be making an address to that nation there. You would know that right now, acting in the place of the President, or acting as President, would be no other than the Prime Minister, Mark Phillips. And I did see on social media some action there when it comes to why didn't Bajak they act on it? Well, the first person that is in charge there, based on some arguments, legal arguments, is that it is the Prime Minister. There are some people who say that Bajak they cannot act as the president because he's barred because of his 2 terms that he was served there, and no more can he act as the president or perform the duties of the president according to the Constitution. Maybe you could hear some comments about that a little while. The government continues its $4,000 voucher sharing out across the country. I think this morning it was Priya Manik-Chan, Minister of Education. She is in Linden, Region 10 this morning. The big case, the elections petition is heating up right now in the High Court, and it is coming before Chief Justice Roxanne George. And of course, you have Attorney General Anand coming up against Mayo Richardson. We are going to bring you some more details as that case progresses. It's going to last a number of days, and it has to do with the elections petition filed by the now opposition, the coalition that was in government until August the 2nd, that is, until the president, Irfan Ali, was sworn in. The coalition filed elections petition challenging the results, talking about the illegalities and so on. So that case there is riveting, or is going to be riveting in Guyana in terms of does the opposition have a good enough case as they come up against the government of the day, which there were two counts, one the official count, and then there was a recount. Both of them placing the People's Progressive Party Civic in the lead, and of course, by that, after international pressure, 5 months of it, to and fro court cases, the coalition was placed in opposition and the PPPC sworn in. So we are going to move to right now to the Guyana's largest selling daily newspaper, the Kaieteur News, and this is what the newspaper would be saying today: Ramatar versus Kaieteur News libel case. On November the 24th edition, Ramatar versus Kaieteur News libel case. Glenn Lal, as the publisher of Kaieteur News, was in the stand yesterday in the court, and he was given he was being questioned, and he stood by his position that the oil block deals, both Kaieteur and Kanji, which is on the shroud of controversy at the moment, under the spotlight. He believes that they were corruption. In court yesterday was former President Donald Ramatar. So this is a very important case. It's probably going to be a landmark case. It is would be a former president of Guyana versus an independent, privately owned newspaper with a reporting on the oil deals. Was it corrupt or not? That is the case that's before the court right now. The newspaper has reported that there seems to be something wrong, and the fact that it was signed away just days before the 2015 elections, they say that it stinks to high heaven. So we are going to continue to follow that case. Main headline: Exxon deal leaves Guyana debt trap for decades. And of course, you move on. GCOM moves to buy 44 tractors at $33 million each. This is an interesting case. You could call that GCOM found itself in a serious predicament, financial predicament, and they are moving to resuscitate a couple of their estates, put it in private hands, but in the meantime, they are going to run it and try to reopen it. And so they want to buy 44 tractors. The problem is $33 million each. Should they spend that money now? That's a question before the table. The matter is to go to the board very shortly, according to what we're hearing. And it is about $1.5 billion that GCOM is asking or want to spend on these tractors. Is it a good investment or not? That's a story that's before there. U.S. company set up shore-based facility of land of Canaan. Businessman shot dead during scuffle with bandit. Sister, and this is very, very sad. We did talk about it yesterday. The businessman up in Timeri there, so it's like Timeri, around that area there, scuffled with bandits who broke into his house in a very early morning attack, and they killed him, shot him in his chest, and then escaped. Sister kills abusive brother to protect sister-in-law. This is a very not a tragic case. Did she do right? Did she do wrong? That's a story that is for the world right now. She's in custody, and she apparently came to the rescue of her sister-in-law. That her brother. This is in the Parika area there. Her brother apparently went after her sister-in-law, was kicking her on the floor, and then she got a knife. And at the end of it, the brother was dead. She's in custody. A very tragic case there. Vincent Adams' contract terminated. and this would be the EPA head that was sent home a few weeks back, and now they've terminated his contract. You would know that the government is making some serious shakeups among the key agencies. The EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, which is going to play a big role in the oil and gas, as well as the Department of Energy, which sort of falls under the Ministry of the Presidency, or the Office of the President in this case here. James Bond land deals, board meeting on land lease clause change, never happened this ill. They're saying that some documents had surfaced. This had to do with the bond case. You recall on the east bank of Demerara, some lands were sold. Those lands were never supposed to be sold. It was leased to some people, and one person was common during those transactions there, and that is the attorney at law James Bond. You could recall that James Bond is no ordinary person. He is an attorney at law. He was a face of the coalition during the recent elections in Guyana, and you could recall also that he would have been talking that the elections was fraudulent, and he would have been pushing it. Well, it was found out that in according to this land deal, he was a center figure, being accused of being the center figure of getting the lands and then flipping it, making more than $100 million there. And did he pay taxes and so on? Were there elements of money laundering here? Well, he was arrested this morning. It would be a high-profile case when it comes to the arrest of somebody who is a big figure within the opposition. Of course, the accusations have started being leveled against the government. You know, you're attacking one of ours. It's witch hunting, all kind of things that you see in there. Suriname law demands competitive transaction oil sector, but Guyana left open for abuse. And of course, there's some other big stories that is within the newspaper here that we'd have to go through very, very quickly. Let us see what happens. Must tell you that at about 2:30, we are going to be joined by no other than outgoing British High Commissioner to Guyana, Greg Quinn. You'd recall that name. You'd recall that a few months ago, Greg Quinn, as the British High Commissioner, the U.S. Ambassador here, Anne Lynch, you would have Lillian Chatterjee as the Canadian High Commissioner, as well as the European Union Commissioner. They would have walked out of that building there, the Ashman's building, after they view as irregular some attempts to make a declaration for Region 4 by Claimant Mingo. And since then, you know what happened. But the diplomats would have played a key role in ensuring that they demand that they should be an adherence to the laws of Guyana when it comes to the declarations. And you would know where that went. There's a new government in place right now. So we're going to have Mr. Greg Quinn in his final. He came back, he left, and then he came back to hold on for his replacement. And so he's finally leaving now. He says he's not leaving. We're going to talk to him at 2:30 about what he saw during this couple of years for a few minutes. He's a very busy man. And what he believes Guyana should be doing right now. It should be a very short, very interesting talk there. Illegal mining lands leads to degradation of Maikobi village. You recall there were some pictures there of GGMC. Would have been very angry after this person here was dredging along the Pataro River there. The problem with it is that people are passing up and down there. How could they not have known? In any case, we'll see how this story progressed. But the man, the dredger, the land dredge, the river dredge, was asked to vacate, to move from there. And the health ministry rejects claims of them singling out Palm Court for breaching COVID-19 measures. And, you know, this is a case where one company, the Palm Court, says that they were told that they believe that they've been singled out. Other people are being open. And the health ministry is making it very clear, along with the task force, that, you know, there are several other people who were warned. There's a big story that's developing here, too, that we've seen almost $1 billion in investments or hotels are coming all along the East Bank, all along the East Coast. The government would have invited investments for hotel, and we see Hilton, we see all kinds of things, the Hyatt and everything that is coming to Guyana. Well, their interest at least for sending them to Guyana. So I think Region 6, there's one other thing that should tell you about Region 6. Region 6 is an area that we got to be very, very careful with. Region 6, there are a number of cases that is increasing in Region 6 and COVID-19. So I want you guys to be very, very careful. Please, for heaven's sake, if you got to go somewhere, wear your mask. The numbers are not looking good. While the authorities are saying that the numbers comparative to what is happening in other countries are low, the fact is we've lost 146 persons since March, since April, March. So I want you, like every day, we go forward and we tell you, you need to protect yourself. You need to do what's the correct thing. Wear your mask. Minibus drivers, wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, you guys have to wear your mask. You are not there. And this morning I was driving and I see many cases of minibus drivers not wearing the mask and they're in and out of traffic. I'm talking about the East Bank of Demerara there. The police needs to come out. It's Road Safety Week. We should not be seeing that case that we saw, that man losing his life on the Agricola Road this morning, is something that should never have been. And we should be very careful with that. So some of the big stories that we are coming back to. James Bond arrested this morning with regards to the East Bank land giveaway there in the Petersall area. Man killed in the 3-lane rush hour traffic this morning at the Agricola area there. President in Suriname, the PM, Mark Phillips, is acting. $4,000 vouchers gone to Linden today. It's all along the East Coast and so on along the East Bank that is sharing out vouchers. $4,000 for each student, $4,000 voucher you could use to shop at selected business places. Election petitions case ongoing, and in Landlad is the Attorney General versus Attorney at Law Mayo Richardson for the coalition. We are, before we head to a break at about 1:30 thereabouts, there's a couple of things that I want to share with you today. I must ask you that whenever you cross on the road, here is a traffic warning to you. Look right, look left. It's better for you to stay back and waste a few precious minutes that you believe that you don't have than for you to make a mistake by crossing the road. You should take your time. Do not just cross the road. Just like look left, look right. That's how I grew up in school. Look left, look right. Look left, look right. And even when you move briskly across the road. I know in this particular case, the man didn't know that the lanes had been switched during that period there. If you're living up these bank, you would understand what I've been talking about. At peak hours in the morning and in the afternoon, there's 4 lanes on these bank there, and they switch certain parts of it at certain times when the traffic build up to become 3 lane. So in the afternoon, it would be 3 lane to go and 1 lane to come. In the morning, it would be 3 lane coming down to Georgetown and 1 lane going up. And apparently, this gentleman didn't know that one of the lanes was switched, and he didn't watch in the other direction. And the truck was headed, and the truck didn't see him. Truck ran him over. So that is a very, very worrisome case there. So let me see if there's anything that I should tell you. Or there's one other case that I should tell you about before we move on. I think it is there's a case this morning that is engaged in Kanu. Kanu has arrested a Guyanese, that is a Guyanese woman who's based in Suriname. She was destined for the JFK airport, for the JFK USA airport, and she was caught with cocaine at the airport. This was yesterday. Here the funny thing is though, the cocaine was concealed in the cavities in a book, in makeup, personal items, and office stationaries, and the person has been identified as Tommy Ann Bunbury, age 42. She's a food vendor in downtown Suriname, Paramaribo. And this is, there's a lot of photographs, and you see the books, photograph of the books and all kind of stuff. It looks like lipstick and so on that it's in. So, you got to be very, very careful there. Do not allow anybody to get you to do anything that is going to push you in the wrong direction. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing today, you're tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show. We are coming to you live from our studio in Saffron Street, Charleston. I want to say good day to the folks down in Berbice and, of course, Escobar and Demerara. Whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that you're staying safe, that you are protecting yourself. If you're cooking, I'm a little hungry right now. I haven't had anything to eat, so I hope that you are enjoying yourself. And those that don't have, I pray that let's be good neighbors. Pay attention to what's happening next door to our kids, to our neighbors who might be in a little jam because of the COVID-19. If you can help something, let's be good citizens of this country. Let's be good humanitarians. Let's try to help a little. You might not give money, but there's something that you could help out with to somebody who's in need. Be a good human being. Do not leave this world with a bad legacy. As you move forward, think of it. Maybe it could happen to your children too. It could happen to somebody that's very dear to you, that they badly in need, and there's nobody to give it to them, and you have something to give to them. So let me just leave you with those few words. We are coming to about 1:24 p.m. Right now. At 2:30, we are going to be joined by no other than Greg Quinn, the High Commissioner to India. Sorry, here, what am I going till on to India for the United Kingdom, British to Guyana. And so we are going to be opening the lines in a very short while. 6222222 is a number that you should be sending your text to. And of course, 226-7453. You call us on that, 226-7453. Let me see until we could probably, read some messages from the people very quickly here, so we could see what they're saying. And yes, good afternoon, Gildarie. To all you wonderful people at Kaieteur News, Josh, Shivani, Kevin, Casual, Alana, WR Riaz, Raj, Gildarie, Select Andy, DJ, is this person or everybody here? Viper, Chino, Alex, Smidget, I'm not sure. Adi and the others and everybody locked in there, and fire pleasant Tuesday to you guys. This is from Sharon, the New Diamond Scheme. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. The accident was yesterday, not today. So sorry. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I'm complaining about the $25,000 cash grant. And let me see here. I'm complaining about the $25,000 cash grant. Myself and 25 other households, at best for sure, Region 3 squatting area did not receive the cash grant because the group of people who were distributing it turned back and left the village. This was 3 days ago. We visited the RDC today, but they keep making excuse and claiming they already finished sharing out in the area. They have us back and forth. I would like an investigation done. All right, I'm going to send this to my people. Thank you very much for that, and let's see where that goes. Yesterday, I informed you about the water. They put it on about half an hour, then report to someone else. Then I report to someone, then I put it on back. Somebody in GWI is sabotaging the system. I'm not sure what is happening there, but I thank you very much for that. People have been complaining about about what is happening there. So in the meantime, let us see what else are people saying there. You do not know it's common for abused people to react that way. They didn't make it right. Somebody, they're complaining about the abuse situation there. Let me see. So in the meantime, there, it is about 1:27. Do we happen to have any other? Yes, let me see what's happening here. 1:25. Hi. Good afternoon from the Vrina Hoop Stelling speedboat. When the water is low, all the boats are sticking up and wasting the passengers' time. It needs to be dredged out, and when the Vrina Hoop Coker is open, a lot of stinking garbage coming out and affect the passengers and speedboat operator. Where's the RDC for this? Nobody's paying attention to what is happening there. All right, I'm going to ask for this matter to be looked after. Hi, Gildarie. Good afternoon. I bought a return ticket for New York, but could not travel because of Caribbean Airlines. Caribbean Airlines. 1 second, please. One second. And you tune into the Kaieteur radio. Okay, the battery is going here. I bought a return ticket for for New York, but could not travel because of Caribbean Airlines. They stopped flying due to COVID. Now I want my money back, and they don't want to pay. They said I must travel, and now I don't want to travel. Please, I don't want to travel. Please advise. I visited there many times and also this morning, but nothing else. Please, you should take this matter to the competition, the Guyana Competition and Competitive, I think Guyana Competition and Consumers Commission there, and they're coming to you live from we coming to you live from our studio. My apologies. I'm saying all kind of crazy things. This battery is dead. One second. Okay. So in the meantime, we are gonna be headed straight into we're gonna be headed straight into a break here with regards to our CARICOM General Insurance. I'm all over the place today because I'm doing so many things. Battery just went dead. Follow us on Facebook for special deals with all your insurance needs today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and Ornock Streets. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. So we are going to be getting ready right now to be headed straight into the calls with you people. 226-7453. Do we have a call online? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Gildarie.
Yes, you are speaking to Mr. Gildarie, and you're on air right now.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
I am calling in connection with the $25,000 cash grant.
Yes.
They're coming in Belladam and they share half of the people since Saturday and they left the other half.
Belladam is where? That is on the West Bank? This is on the West Bank?
Yeah, West Bank.
Okay, Belladam. And they come Saturday?
They come Saturday and they share and half of the people get. And then they come back until now.
Okay, and do you know these people that came? They came with police and so on?
Yes, I came with police. I have two sets. One over on the eastern side, one over on the other side.
Did you try to check with the RDC what they're saying there?
Pardon?
With the RDC, the Regional Democratic Council of Freedom Hope, did you try checking with them?
You don't get on to nobody. If you call NDC, you don't get on. If you call the RDC, it's the same thing.
No, well, you have to get on to them because they know what's the program. Like I understand that they are the ones that is handling the issue there. For people complaining about the West Demerara thing there, I'm gonna try
I
to.
don't know if you could make a contact with someone.
All right, Belladam. All right, I'm gonna send this message here to the people over there. All right. Thank you very much. And it seems to be there seems to be some problems with the sharing out of the $25,000 on the West Demerara area. One person did talk about Belladrum, and this one here I think is Plantain Walk. I'm gonna try to raise this with the NDC there. I'm not sure what is happening, but if you don't go back in the area, don't you know that you have to go back? And if it is that who's managing this thing here, there seems to be a lot of confusion. I'm gonna have to raise this matter again. Every single day is the same thing. Good afternoon, sir. What is happening with Mr. Yuri? People walking hard. You keep fooling people. Please let somebody look into this matter. This is the Ponzi scheme, and and this is a very sad thing. And it's always good to educate our people. If anybody comes to you, they call you on the phone and they tell you that you won something and you didn't enter it, run far. If somebody start advertising or you get hold of of a good deal happening, question it. You should not take anything at face value. And I'm saying to you that this has already happened. That people pay out a lot of money because they wanted to invest in a particular scheme because leaders came to them, village leaders, pastors, pundits, and everybody, people that we could trust. You guys need to skin them up. Nobody's talking about that because people like they're afraid, they're ashamed. Imagine you put your money into the scheme here, And the people then went to court and they promised to start paying, and they can't start paying because of one excuse or the other. I'm not really sure what is happening there, but you need to get yourselves as people here. Anytime you hear somebody put a deal out there and then you don't see it in the newspaper, meaning they're not advertising, like you put your money in a bank. You don't know these people, but they're there. Let us be very, very careful. Do not think. Pick up the phone, call somebody. We never saw these people accelerated fund invest with anybody. I did call them to have an interview on the radio station here last week. The person said for me to call the lawyer. The lawyer, when I called the lawyer phone turned off. So I'm not sure what is it that they're doing, whether they want to answer. But I think you know what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be I am going to be taking this matter up here with Yuri Dominguez Garcia of the Accelerated Funds. I'm going to be making this another NDC, another RDC, another whatever you want to call it. It's going to be my pet peeve for the next couple of days. We're going to have them in the program here, and they're going to have to come clean. What exactly is happening here? Where is the money? Do you have the money? I know there's a court case that's ongoing, but you need to answer the people. The people have been very quiet, and all other people are embarrassed because they put the money and then realize they got scammed. But at the end of the day, for many, it's a couple $100,000. For some, it's millions. For others, people would have been put in the pension. They receive some money and they believe it's a real deal. But the Ponzi scheme works different. They take money from somebody else, give it to you. Take money from somebody else, give it to that person, and so it goes along. By the time you catch yourself and the deal collapses, nobody's going to get money because the beginning ones who got the money were the lucky ones. Those at the end who give money last, and so on. Those are the ones who are going to take the lash. So, do we have a caller online? Good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Great, man.
Tell me.
I hear you talking about food. We're preparing a pot of cocoa rice here, but we're knocking this cocoa rice on sucker leaf.
Oh, man, that's a right thing there. You know, I can.
Mango sour.
I had some cocoa rice. Is it without any meat or so inside?
Roast cocoa.
Oh, Lord. Roast cocoa.
And you broke them up and throw them inside.
You know, I haven't heard about that fish for a very long time. And
Come up and more, you will get it.
I know this way I learned to fish about Kokwari when the fishermen used to think. I used to live in Newtown and by Francis school there. I think you know. So when I used to go there, that's when the fisherman used to push his cart every day. Everybody know the fisherman there. And everybody know the lady used to walk with a basket on her head, and everybody know the guy who used to sell oil.
When you show this hot rice, when it's sucker leaf, you get a different taste.
You should not be doing that. I think you're deliberately teasing us here.
Can you hold, please?
Thank you very much.
Hey, good afternoon, Skipper.
Good afternoon. How you doing, sir?
Company forgive you, man.
What happened?
Hey, up there. It's about 4 months now. Every month, this NIS, right?
Mm-hmm.
This money going through the bank to the NIS, them, right? And when you go, money is paid the first money in the new month, right? NIS money, right? The first Monday. And today the 24th already. When 3 times I go to the bank and then they said the money not going to the bank as yet.
Well, I can't tell you what happened in there. Did you try calling NIS?
You not get through with them neither, brother. I've been in Milani and Milani tried for me and the money not go through.
Call the GM office if you get a blue book. Sorry, a directory. Check the directory for the NIS office. And she had given me a number, and I'd given that number so long that nobody can call me. That mean everybody used to get through with NIS. We can give everybody the number, what they got to call. I don't happen. You know what I'm gonna do? Stick by. I'm gonna try to put my hands on that number, and you could. It's a cell phone that the general manager had given to me from NIS, and you could probably be able to call them there and just raise that matter as to why it's not reaching. You're going to have to bear with me until I put my hands on that number.
Okay. Oh, a long time now. It's 4 months now. There's people late. They must always send them in late.
I don't know what is happening, but I think the GM, I would have given out that number. I'm gonna give out the number during the show here.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much, and a good day to the folks down in Enmore here.
Yeah.
Yes. So I want to say good day to the good people down in Enmore on the east coast of Demerara, and you would know that is a sugar community. sugar planting, well, at least a couple of years, until a couple of years back, but when everything went up on its head there in that area there. Um, Good afternoon, my brother. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. I have a couple of questions. What is the government doing to the people about the people who's coming across the border illegally? And the Guyana government need to shut down the oil production. What's the oil production? No matter what is happening, what is because the government have the power to do that. The guy who ripped off a lot of Guyanese should be spending a lot of the rest of his life in prison for money laundering and racketeering. Yes. Well, um, as of now, that matters before the court. I can't comment who should be going to jail or not because we barred from doing that until the case goes through, at least on this particular forum. But what I could tell you is that this person is right. There's big racket going across the border on both sides of the border, whether it's in Barbies or it's in the Brazil or it's in the Venezuelan border there, and people are coming across, going across. People are paying money, police allowing them to come, and people don't really give a damn because they're making a raise. Everybody making a raise, and they're doing the thing and so on. So nobody cares. The thing comes up here, and the people bring the virus or take the virus, and nobody really cares because they're going about the business. Somebody has problem, not their problem. So I want to say to you today, just be very careful. You need to protect yourself. Don't bother with the idiots who continue to put this country on the exposure side of things. I'm trying to find that number there for NIS, and I did give it back out a couple of months back when we would have started this project here. I think it's six. No, it is not that. All right, I'm going to come back to that in the meantime. But in the meantime, you are tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio, and this is what we have to say to you. I'm texting about the $25,000 for Linden to be. Did you not get it up in Linden yet? I'm not sure. This is the first time. Could you guys find out? I'm going to try to find out there again. I'm living. Good afternoon to you. Let me see what's happening here. Tuesday. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. If you're not at home and the cash grant is sharing, let's say you're out of the area, the time they already passed your area, could you still get a cash grant? Please let us know, and if so, explain how I could go about getting it, because I'm really in need of it. I'm living in East Babis. Please get hold of your RDC in that area there, and let them tell you when the people are passing, because if you pass and the people are not at home, I don't know when they're coming along the East Bank there, but I'm going to tell you that I hope to be home, and if I'm not at home, I hope to get it back. You need to call the RDC and let them point out to you how you could get hold of these people to get your money. Good afternoon, sir. Is it true that you have to pay $5,000 for a tin certificate? I think that's a replacement. That you would have to probably pay. Hi, good day, sir, my friend. My friend asked me to remind you about the wheelchair for that. Yes, thank you very much. Just keep holding on. Give me a few moments as I have asked a couple of people. Let me see. I've asked a couple of people for a wheelchair. If anybody is out there, I'm going to ask you. If anybody is out there and you happen to have a wheelchair that we could probably donate to somebody, could you assist? Make contact with myself, and let's see about a wheelchair for that person. The person is asking. I'm asking anybody, any organization that's out there. I want to give these people some help here. Thank you very much for that. Let me see, 133. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Gildarie. How are you doing? Keep up the good work. Please let the government look into the Sentinel security not paying the NIS, and we need bonus for Christmas. Sentinel again. Okay, I did talk to Mr. Joseph Hamilton. We're going to try to get Mr. Joseph Hamilton maybe as early as Friday. Joseph Hamilton, who is the Minister of Labor, and he said that he's willing to talk about these security companies which have been doing the thing and messing up people, not paying the NIS, not paying the taxes, and underpaying them, and so all kinds of things. Supervisors demanding sex from the female workers. If you don't comply, they put you in some dark hole to guard. I think the people of Guyana could get that contract changed. We have to come together. Thank you very much. Do we have a caller online? Good afternoon, caller on the air. Go right ahead. Yes. Hello.
Yes, Leonard, how are you, man?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. You sound very happy today.
Yes, I'm happy. Now, we got some buffalo for officials to deal with. On your program and other television program, people complaining about people coming through backtrack from Suriname, passing along the quarantine and where's the going. And all the officials doing, I don't know what they're doing, sit down, relaxing. Now look what happened. They got COVID patient in the public hospital at New Amsterdam in an open ward. Tell me something, man. This supposed to happen? They're supposed to get him someplace.
No. Well, you see, that's the problem. When we don't have, like I always say, sometimes you blame the government, but really is the man and dog and the ground down there. And sometimes you got to blame the government too. If you don't lead by example, people are going to believe that you could break the laws all the time. And that has been something consistent that we've seen. So the policeman across there that's thinking, they tell you, look, we're not going to be there at 10 o'clock tonight. You could do your thing. It's all organized crime, you know. These things are big money.
This is how Guyana running, brody.
No, it is that they're going to tell you because, let me tell you, the Suriname border there, right across from the quarantine there's a wide open place. So there's Coast Guard from Suriname and so that's their patrolling. But the Coast Guard can't be there the entire length of the Suriname border. And I think what would have happened, people are just coming, going, they're monitoring, people have radios, people have cell phones, they know where the police are. Sometimes even the police are involved with it. They tell the people, look, you move across to the point X, point B, or whatever it is, and you move across there. And people don't care. People don't care. So you allow every Tom, Dick, and Harry to come into this country. And I'm not saying people shouldn't come, but there's a border lockdown. And if they catch those persons who allow that, who facilitates it, they have to go to jail or something because you're endangering the people.
Secondly, this Lusitano outbreak, which is often going on. My brother, I've been talking on this set program. Prison officer down there is working on pressure on the staff. Can you imagine 51 prisoners being escorted by one officer? You never hear nothing like that, no? In the days of Hope Estate. So you could imagine what's happening now. You're getting people to work.
But it's not only that, too. You see the couple of them that work every couple of months, you hear one of the prison officer busted. Catching them with drugs. So it's not an easy thing. I hear what you're saying there. We got to continue. You see what happened if you're familiar with these guys and so on. Let them start writing letters. Let them start doing stuff that is going to raise the awareness as to what the conditions are. I can't understand that you have management, the prison officers and so on, see your staff doing under certain conditions and you don't take steps. We have so much money that we're asking for in the budget per year. Simple thing as a toilet is $50,000 maybe for a bowler. So I'm just calling these figures at the top of my head. These things could be fixed for simple things that could uplift the people's lives.
Now, New Amsterdam prison, they got a big gainer tree, and for years I've been talking concerning the same gainer tree. The gainer tree actually have blacking or party blacking the man in the observation tower. Put me or you down there, buddy, you won't like it. Because somebody could hide somewhere along the gainer tree area, and you know what? You're going to tell what o'clock. I've been talking to the director or the acting director, and all the man do, yes, I'm going to look into it up to now. It is really unfair. Officer working not easy. It's not easy, my brother. Anyway, one last thing. This is traffic week, right? You know the lawlessness continue more with this big low bed with things.
You gotta see the speed with some of them on the road. Sometimes you wonder, you say, wow. I mean, I don't know. I'm in a little car and I'm scared because you're right up under them and they're so right alongside you. If they make one swing, that's it. That's the end of me. So it is a problem. I don't know what else to say. We could talk about it. We could ask them. We could beg. We could cajole. The police could charge them. But I don't think when you're in that vehicle there, I'm not sure. One of the recommendations that was made, I don't understand why you have trucks running daytime now, especially from John Fernandez. So have these trucks in the night. Put them in special bypass road or something that they could be able to leave John Fernandez and drop the stuff. You don't need trucks on the road during the day.
That lady that called on your program yesterday, she touched my heart, brother.
Yes.
Because I passed away. I lose my mother when I was 3 months old. She died by murder. She was a police eyewitness. My brother, anybody say anything, don't say nothing because they promise you protection, and there's the protection my mother got. It took me 29 years to find a brother.
Wow.
Much as other family.
Wait, mean like as in your real brother?
My real brother, it took me 29 years. Look, so when I listen to that lady and I listen to you sometimes, I just smile about it.
No, because you know why we should not. Like I always said, one of the worst things that you could do if you have issues is to bottle it up inside of you, not say anything about it. You should talk about it. There's one point in time I never want anybody to look at me a little different, believe that I'm weak or so. And then I realized people won't think you weak because you open your mouth and talk something that happened, something that might have been tragic that happened in your life. Um, uh, I think you should open your mouth and talk about it, and that's a big part of healing. And the people, I think the people who would have studied this thing, but mental issues and so on, the doctors and so would tell you it's part of the healing process. Talk about it, get it out of your system.
There's a health program normally on read it around, as we all call it, and they talk about different parts of health. So I asked them yesterday, what is the menu for the people who's mentally ill? Like, for example, the mental asylum. If you're going to see what's going on inside of there, I don't know. It's really, and you see these orphanages with these children, I sorry nobody can lock up them people. Give the people then the meals.
Yes.
Okay, brother, nice hearing from you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. And to all the prison officers, the police officers, the health officers, nurses, frontline workers, we want you to know that you are doing a fantastic job. Of course, there's some bad eggs among that would be among the set that would give the others a bad name, but that does not mean that we don't recognize the fantastic job that you would have been doing. Teachers, I want to say wherever you are, whatever it is that you do in the Ministry of Education, staffers, Ministry of Finance, public servants, we could cost them and all kind of thing, but there's some good, hard-working people work under some serious conditions. There is going to be a better day for Guyana. Of that, I'm very, very sure. Of that, I'm very, very confident. And, just have the faith. Just continue to do things. If you've been doing things the last 20 years the same way, change it up. If you keep doing that, there's a old saying which I would have said to you before. If you keep doing the same thing every single day, day in and day out, and expect the same outcome, you ain't gonna see a different outcome. You gotta change the way you do things. If you're getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning, get up to 5 o'clock in the morning. Start doing things a little different. If you believe you're getting a little too fat, do some exercises, change the diet. If you believe that you've been working this job here, you're not making something else, try to do a little something on the side. Plant some garden. Do something. Let's go back to some of our messages that we have here. Hi, good day. I really think that somebody should look into the wonderful mall at Good Hope at East Coast Demerara. Every day they have a big section where people eat and people drink and line without a mask. I see police go and turn back, not doing anything. We're on the east coast of Demerara. Wonderful mall. I'm not sure if that's the name of it. Could you send some clarity to me, dear, my dear? Hi, good day. Okay, good. We finished with that one, dear. Good afternoon, Leonard. I think Sheikh Bash should be fired from GWI for not explain to the residents of Parfait and Eccles the quality of water through the country is bad. No water. The PRO of GWI need to explain to citizens what is the problem. GWI is not giving us good services. For a long time, I hear nobody complain about GPL and neither GT&T. I'm not sure what is happening. Are people gone into a little in the background? Have you been getting better service? And the number of complaints too about the NIS has reduced. And somebody did ask about that number for NIS a very short while back. Let me give it to you, 639-6400, 639-6400. That was sent to me by a good lady there. Thank you, ma'am. I do appreciate that. We have people who are paying attention, keeping these numbers. 639-6400 for NIS. You could call that number. The number is one that is being handled by the general manager's office at NIS, and they are taking complaints which people would have had. Good afternoon, Uncle Leonard. This is Angelina Mani. Thank you very much, Angelina. Good day to you. Good afternoon, sir. Keep up the great work. May the Creator keep blessing with wisdom to enlighten us on developments as well as issues, burning issues in our dear land. Sir, I'd like you to shed some light as to whether students who are to return to school were to be in receipt of sanitizing packages or the ministry only give to teachers. This is in Region 6, Tutorial Academy Secondary. Thank you very much. I think I got to get some clarity on this, but I think the Ministry of Education would have been preparing some care packages, sanitizing and masks and so on. As to where they went to, I'm not sure. As to who's entitled to it, I'm going to find out a little more and I would get back to you. I thank you very much for that question there. I don't have, and I know that they were preparing some to give to the people. Hi, good day. We went to the RC Linden and said the money gone back. I asked the PPP official and they said the money is done. Thank you very much for that. So it looks as if money is running out. You could recall, and this is with me not having any confirmation, the $25,000 cash grant. What was put aside by the government or earmarked for the people was $4.5 billion, I think it was. $4.5 billion. Has that money run out? Well, seems to be what some of the problems that you're having. So when they finish in an area, if you're not at home, they're gonna have to go back and try to get some more money. I'm gonna continue to try to get some clarity from the government on this. I did had a chat with Vice President Bayer Jagdi a few days back, and good day to you, sir. And it would have been, he indicated that he wants to come on the program, maybe talk a little thing about oil and some other issues. So I'm trying to have some talks to them. He said he was very busy. There were a number of international events and some other things that they're very busy with, but he's trying to make time for that. So I want to say good day to you, sir. And I want to ask him about whether they've run out of that $4.5 billion or what is happening there. Hi, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you too. I'm going to say good afternoon. Do we have another caller on the air? Yes, good afternoon, caller on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Pretty good, sir. Go right ahead.
A couple of points. One with the RDC NDC in Region 3, and there's $25,000. They're giving people the impression that they're finished with the street because the same people that go halfway in Bella Dam, they're in Samru Dam. They're going halfway in Crane and then going another place. And so it's like if they got a running guy now with this thing is, and nobody seems to be giving a satisfaction. But as I promised them, I can show up. When it comes to Urina Menges, he's alleged Ponzi scheme boss. But the problem is they were pastors, some in the LBI, some on the East Coast.
Success on the East Coast of them, right? That's one of them.
Yes. And these guys when your pastor come to your place, you come to your pandit, come to you and tell you do this thing. If they make them people do it, not you refool these people, they make these people do it. Some places the security supervisor who's doing the supervisory work encourage the staff to do it. And when you boss and these people tell you these things, you won't question anything your pastor. No, all them pulling out and let these people. Some of them should then court David Yuri Dominguez because they encourage people to get robbed.
I don't even want to go there. I could tell you one thing. There was a pandit on the East Bank of Demerara. I know that he's going to get very upset, but you know, I've come to a point in time in my life now. I don't feel like hiding anything that's on my chest. Let me get it off. I sleep very well, or I try to get a couple hours, and when I do that, put my head down, I feel very good because I would have done what I had to do for Guyana. And the pandit went on his Facebook page, and the pandit says he is one of them that pushing for this foreign exchange. I think it's not Yuri. There was another one that was running too.
Yeah.
And he was pushing for it, and people were asking him, and he said he has a right to use his page to do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
And he was pushing it, and I'm wondering, I mean, as leaders, when something like this happened, do you apologize to them afterwards because maybe you were misled, or were you part of the scheme?
As far as I consider you're part of the scheme, because each of you claim you're working with God, and so God should have let you know what's going on here. So, comment part though. When it comes to this, people were traveling. I thought when you are talking with people coming across the border, it was a little jokey thing.
No.
I got to a shop the other day where I bought some products. And when I go back to buy the man tell me the thing raised because them man say when they come over, that to get the police more money. If you hear the money, but these little people will come across and certain events, you gotta get the police.
No,
And
it's big run-ins. It's big run-ins. You know,
I
I
talk about
think
one small man give me 500 US, one small man. So this thing is like nobody seems to be doing anything like the commissioner changing, everybody changing with it. That's still the same way. Brothers, I'm gonna listen to your comments off here. They're on a different shift now. And so when you down there, they're sleeping this or them listening to you. But I stay up to date just to hear what you said. I want to hear Mr. Greg Quinn. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, my brother. So you know, when we look, the problem is how many cases were came in or were imported of COVID-19 through the airports, because we would have had that lady back in March that got it. It came from the United States first case. From New York, and then she came here and died, and her family was placed in lockdown because it was the first case. Guyana didn't know how to deal with it. What did all this case spread from that? Where this case coming from if Guyana went to a lockdown? So you have many persons every day. You could turn some part in Guyana and see somebody else that's here. How would they come in? They didn't come to the airport. Were they here before March the 1st? Were they here, or whichever date that they would have had the lockdown go into effect, or were they here before? Our intelligence is stating to us that people are using the miles and miles of border. There's 1,000 miles of border with with Brazil. There's a big border with Venezuela. Now, when you cross in somewhere along the line, the road is going to converge. If you happen to know the hinterland, the road is going to converge for Brazil along the Linden Latham Road somewhere. So you have to use the normal road sometime or the other. And there are going to be checkpoints. I understand that the police there are the ones who are making sure when you get there, it's big business. So you're there, 15 people in the bus, everybody got to pay something. There's a cost per head. So, you know, big business. Everybody's making. Everybody wants to go to the hinterlands. Everybody wants to go to the border. Everybody wants to be a traffic cop. And everybody knows what is happening. But guess who is doing nothing about it? Well, you're quite right about that. It's 2 p.m. right now. In another half an hour or so, we are going to be, hopefully, he did say that he had a lunch today and saying goodbye to his staffers. And he is going to be with us. I did give him, you know, I said, could you come onto the program? The people would have had good memories of Greg Quinn. Some people of the opposition would not like Greg Quinn or not appreciate some of his efforts to ensure that there was democracy in Guyana. But there are two sides and three sides to every story. But it's good to talk to some of our people who would have been here, diplomats otherwise, who would have another side of the story, who would see things from a different angle. And when they talk about it, when they see things and they tell us, it teaches us, it causes us to open our eyes and start to be a little more aware, and of course to be educated as well. So CARICOM Insurance, you could follow us on Facebook for special deals for all your insurance needs today. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Streets. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. And so we are gonna. Okay, he's there. Okay, we're gonna. Now we are gonna take a break right now. When we come back, more calls, more comments, and we are gonna be awaiting Greg Quinn, High Commissioner of Britain to Guyana.
Singer and Frigidaire are bringing you enough winnings. 4 lucky customers will win their share of $1 million in appliances from Frigidaire when they shop at Singer. Purchase any Frigidaire item from Singer to get the chance to be one of 4 winners of Frigidaire store credit valued $250,000 each. With weekly draws, the earlier you shop, the more chances you have to win. Glam up your kitchen, fix up your laundry, get enough winnings with Singer and Frigidaire. Promotion ends December 21, 2020.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. We do happen to have some complaints about the $25,000. We do happen to have some complaints about the $25,000 distribution, the cash grant for COVID-19. And we're trying to follow that. That's been a problem that we have and there's very little explanations that's coming out because the exercises are still ongoing. Good day to you. My uncle Ravi Mohammed from the US is watching the program right now. I heard that someone's in need of a wheelchair. He'd like to make the donation. Thank you very much for that. You guys could send us, just give me a call on 225-8491, 225-8491. I'm going to send this person here. Um, uh, Call me after on that. Thank you very much for that. So we do happen to have somebody who's willing to give a wheelchair. I'm gonna liaise with that person. So very good. I want to say that my heart goes out to such kindness. I like when people come forward when they hear calls about people in need, and wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, sir, Mr. Ravi Mohammed, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Let me see. Somebody said good afternoon there. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. Just find out when GCOM open register for ID card. Thank you. I think in some areas they would have started. Have you taken the ID card already, or you want to take a new one, a picture for a new ID card? I think you should call. What about GCOM? I think you could be able to make some calls to them. But I'm going to find out whether they're doing anything. GCOM ID card. Okay, thank you very much. Question to Wake Up Guyana. Is it known if the Ministry of Health is given money to public and private hospitals for each COVID death? Not sure if I'm on to the right program. Thank you very much for that. I'm not sure what is the situation for there. What I could tell you is that the funeral homes, you can't really take home these bodies. I think at least one funeral that I had attended that were very close to myself, that they kept that at the Memorial Gardens along Princess Street here. I think they're not releasing those bodies to go to any kind of home. You have to do the funeral there. So I'm not sure if that answers the question, but I'm not sure that the Ministry of Health is giving any private hospitals any money for any patients. I'm going to have to find out a little bit that. Do we have another caller online? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello?
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Yes, it is. You're on to the Kaieteur radio program.
Good afternoon.
Pretty good, sir. Thank you very much.
I listen to your program, man, and it's every day on your program somebody got to be talking about the police.
Uh-huh.
And if I tell you how we live in a kind of situation where when we come out of the house now, we living like if we're doing drugs. Instead of you thinking where you're going, you got to study where the police there. We got to start watching out for police, which part of police there, where the police there. It's really making people uncomfortable. I sitting down home and I studying if I should come out of the house because I worried about police. I worried that if I come out of the house and the police see me, I got to find money to give the police will stop you, the police can harass you,
Right. No, but you gotta be very careful. So I mean, these are things that we look at every day, yeah? But keep it up, though. I thank you very much for tuning in. Any other issues?
I know, but here, I got two more points to make quick. What's saying, right, is that we live in like if we thief man or pusher man, and you come out on the road, you got to looking out for police. The second thing I want to raise, I was looking at the news and I see this land story with some people somewhere, I can't remember if it's in East Bank or East Coast. And suddenly somebody show up and they're claiming that the land belongs to them. But when you look at the development of the land, the people had on the land and how they apparently like they was living there for a very long time. So I want to know where the person who owned the land and why he allowed these people to live there so long, and then now he come and he claiming the land.
Well, I think along this area, Johanna area there, I think along next to land of Canaan, there are some people, there's a big issue going on there right now. Some people on some lands. It's an issue that would have engaged the courts and is back and forth. There's a lot of issues there. I think several families. We even had a reporter, I think, from here that used to live in that area there. And I think they were squatting in that area there. But there's a big fight between the people who claim it to be the landowners, who they say that they're the ancestral landowners, and the people who are squatting. But you asked the right question here. Were they paying attention? Were they in the country? We don't know. I think a couple of them that I would have spoken a couple of years back, this matter has been simmering. They would have indicated that they seemed to give me the impression as if they're not living here, they were overseas. So maybe you didn't check on it and you come back and then all of a sudden it's gone.
Yes. but it's sad that you've been there for so much years, and you look at the trees that are growing there, the kind of banana tree and coconut tree and all these kind of things that the people would have planted there. It's a clear indication that the people went there for a long period of time. And how, I mean, who is your relative or who, whatever, if you own the land, why they didn't inform you that people, is you land and people squatting on it, and then try to remove them before now. You know how it's hard to know that, well, when you take all you save and you build a house and a land, and then government can come just like that, or somebody can come just like that and say, oh, this is me land, and then I got to move it. How you expect the people to move it when they probably might be left with anything or get nothing, that situation.
Right. We got to think. Let's see how it goes, though. But that's a legal case. We have so many cases. One of the big issues that we have in Guyana is that sometimes it used to take a long time for people to resolve land matters in court. And I think the consecutive governments would have moved to put in more land judges and so on. They had one point in time court cases, lands took years, maybe even 2 decades. By the time the man gets itself, or families get themselves, the person who's involved died, or the judge died, or the lawyer died, or something. But let's see what happens here.
And the last one quickly, the story with the land giveaway with some story when with James Van and them, right?
Yes.
You could remember the previous government, the fighting movie tongue, that how the land was given away to them by the PPP, and I didn't hear they say nothing about these land was give away now.
Well, in this particular case, I think these matters went through Soku and Sarah, and everybody was investigating those matters. It was, I think, the issue with the movie tongue was whether a market price was paid for it. Because when you give somebody a piece of land, you start looking, could you take it back, have they started developing? Because the minute that somebody starts developing, then the issue comes up whether already you would have a legitimate right to the place because you bought it with good faith. Then the issue would come up, did you pay the right price for it? So I think in that particular case, they would have looked at the price and so on. But to come back to these bank matters are altogether different lands. You're buying lands all across these bank there to probably do your business, whether it's a land for a home or something, or to do a business. But all of a sudden, somebody at the NISL decided that they're not going to sell this land anymore. They're going to lease it. There's a big difference. Then this person got it for maybe $1,000. Let's say $2 million. You got it to be able to lease it there for years, about 30 acres. This is prime lands, along by Providence area there, Petersall, Providence area. All of a sudden, you flip that land and get $200 million. So before you used to be selling the lands, at what point in time did the decision take that you could be able to lease the lands? That's one. Two, was the land advertised so you and me and Glenn Lyle and Bar Jagdeo could have a very, transparent way in which they would have seen and applied for the same piece of land? Did you know that there was 30 acres available there?
No.
I didn't know it either. Nobody knew.
No.
So that means somebody...
The opportunity wasn't given.
Right.
Actually, the opportunity wasn't given to nobody.
Right. So if you knew that you could have bought a piece of land there for $2 million, that's 30 acres for $2 million for 30 acres, you wouldn't get into it?
Yeah.
I would have get into it too. So that is the issue
definitely.
there. But I don't want to comment too much. There's a police investigation. There's somebody there. What I could tell you is that when people say these things and the facts are coming out, very, very clearly what would have transpired. I'm saying there are 2 and 3 sides to every story. James Bond has to explain himself. He's an attorney at law, and he would have to explain himself if it was a legit transaction, if it is that the NISL erred in this particular case by giving him the land. After he got the land, was it legal, the transaction that he did? Now, the other issue that would come, if he collect $200 million or whatever it is that he collect, did he pay taxes on it? If you don't pay taxes, it becomes an issue for money laundering. Several sides to the story. And if it becomes that, then Soku steps in and you could become liable under that law. Remember, we passed some strict laws, anti-money laundering laws a couple of years back. So these are all issues. It's a very not complex matter. I think it's straightforward based on the facts of what it is. As I think Soku then would be looking as to whether systems were deviated from, whether procedures were not followed, and if it was not followed, why did you not follow it? and in the particular case of James Bond, was a scenario of anti-money laundering done there. We don't know. I can't know. We'll wait and see what happens.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gildarie, and keep up the good work, man.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a pleasant rest of the day.
Yeah, you too.
Yes. So in the meantime, we are going to tell you. Okay. Let me see some other callers. Okay, there's the ID is for somebody who never registered. I think you could get onto GCOM, but I'm going to find out from GCOM if you want to you want an ID card. In this COVID-19, they put some strict measures in place. They're only given to the people who would have applied. As to whether they're open to take applications for those ID cards, I'm going to have to find out. Hi, good afternoon, Leonard. I'm the person that called you. Is it Thomas from Supernam? Could you please give me the number so I could get to Dr. Vishnu Mahadio, please? Okay, good. I'm gonna send it to you. Thank you very much. In the meantime, do we have another caller in the air? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead. Okay, we've missed that. Let's see if there's another caller here. Do we have another caller in line there? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I'm Gildarie.
Hi.
I want to sit down and listen to this program.
Uh-huh.
You know, you say you're a fair-minded person. I want to know why this government harassing people about land and land. And look how much land Jack you got and how much some place, what? Pradoville. You know, where is it? Let me come out of this and just move the country ahead. Why the government are just harassing and they're not blameless? They're guilty as anybody else. They're guilty as the AFC people. So why harassing these people at land and land? Nobody is perfect. Everybody, when the dang government, they try to help themselves, and we all know that. So there's no need stifling our country.
Let me ask you a question. I don't want to ask here because it's a very good point that you've made here. I want to ask you. I have my own thoughts about it, and maybe I would voice my thoughts on that. Do you believe, starting now, there's a new government in place? Let's assume this government goes in, and which it did went in August, and they have found some wrongdoings. You're saying to the people of Guyana that we just sweep everything under the carpet and move on from here, and let's move this country forward? Is that what you're saying?
Yes and no. I'm saying that I mustn't look into anything, all right?
Uh-huh.
But there's better things to do. Look, Robert Posada and the ex-Ramatar.
Uh-huh.
Sell out the oil block. And you're hearing nothing about it. Come on, man. Are we children or are we big people? Eh?
Are you looking at our front page or so and see what is happening with regards to what Kaieteur News is doing?
No, but you know,
we are not stopping. Let me tell you this. Let me just make a blank statement here, and it's a very good question. It's a very good discussion point that you've raised there. This newspaper here, this radio here, is not affiliated with anybody, any political party, any organization. We don't have a constituency. We don't have.
Mr. Gildarie, you were on that radio station when the whole hiccup with the election. You were fighting for PPP.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yes.
No. You were listening to the wrong program.
No.
We were fighting, and this newspaper here, we were fighting for democracy in Guyana.
Mr. Gildarie, what is democracy really at all? Do any of us?
No. Let's go back to what you say there. At what point in time did you come to the conclusion that Gildarie is a PPP and fighting for PPP?
The farmers.
Whoever is telling you in the background there or feeding you the information, let's start over back again.
No, nobody feeding me anything.
No, well, I want to know at what point in time, if you could pull up that and say at what point in time that Gildarie said anything that is in charge, that would be backing this PPP government, that said anything.
Plus, you had a lot of people on your program.
We had a lot of people, and we could also tell you that we did open this radio program here. And the room 592 and everybody else, even when Yog Mahadio was here and he went on his own thoughts. I even at one point in time stopped Yog Mahadio, invited, I think it was Ganesh Mahi Paul, Daniel C. Ram, and I said it many times over and over. This radio program here, let me make it very, very clear to you and to everybody who's watching, is not affiliated with any political party. And if you read in the newspaper, have you read our newspaper lately?
I don't read it because here what happened. Previously, Mr. Lal used to be against the PPP with the nonsense. And being talking about new government.
No. Have you read the newspaper lately, ma'am?
No. This is the same government from 23 years. It's the same.
Well, let me tell you very, very clearly. I think I'm going to open the line. I'm going to open the line to you.
Yes.
When you read our newspaper, I want you to pick up the last 3 months newspaper. I want you to read this newspaper. In fact, pick up the last 3 years newspaper. It's online. And you could read it, and you could know that this newspaper here, this radio station, and I think that my view is not different from Glenn Lal's view. We hold the same thing. We took on the coalition on the oil deal. We took on the PPP leading up to 2015. We took on the coalition leading up to 2020. We're taking on this government with the oil deal again. I'm not sure where you're coming from with that.
I know, anyway.
No, but you need to read our newspaper because I'm going to open the line back again. And I want you to come back and tell me about what point in time there was Gildarie coming across as a PVP. I had clashes with Anna. I had clashes with... Okay.
It's plain to see. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. And so, you know, let me make it very, very clear. I understand that we are going to see people on this program here. And I like to have people, and I do intend to have the good lady there come on to this program whenever it is and say it. I'm willing because we don't have anything to hide on this program here, and we're going to say it. We don't back this government here. We don't back the coalition. We back the people of Guyana, and that's full stop to that. When it comes to looking out for the people's rights, when it comes to looking out for the people's patrimony, and when we come to looking out for the people's gold in the backyard and oil in the backyard, and the bauxite, and the diamond, and the fish, we will continue to do that. That's all I know. I don't know of any other thing. I didn't go too far in school. I barely finished high school. So I didn't have all those university degrees. What I do here is the little knowledge that I have on the road and what I've experienced. If that's not enough, well, then we go back again. But let me make it very clear to the lady and to the others, this is not a PPP program. It does not back the coalition. It does not back any political party. It backs the people of Guyana. Thank you very much for that. So we are going to continue. And thank you very much to the lady that called here for allowing me to express my little views on that. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. Tell that lady to listen to Kaieteur News and the newspaper. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Somebody just said that. We have to hold everyone accountable for the actions. Don't do the crime when you can't do the time. Well spoken, my brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hi, sir. Good day to you and your boss and listeners. Sorry I joined the program late. Sir, since the Glenn Lal show started, he's been touching a lot of irregularities concerning the oil blocks giveaway. To this date, no one has come forward to defend the issue. And this is for the lady that is saying you should tune in tomorrow at about 7:20, and Glenn Lal is going to be on the program, and you should see what he's saying there, and then you would understand that this newspaper, this radio here, sister companies, does not back anybody. We back the people of Guyana. That's what we're here for. That's why we provided a voice for the people. We don't know it all. We don't have the answers, but we are going to continue to provide the answers to the people. Whatever little that we could get. We're going to continue to invite the government. We're going to continue to invite the politicians. Do we have the gentleman online? We are going to see. So we don't happen to have... Okay, we're going to wait on Mr. Greg Quinn. I hope that he has the time to come on board. We're so poor. Okay, to this date, no one has come forward to defend this issue. We're hoping that even the bishop, who's a man of God, to say something. We're so poor, we're so hungry. You mean to say you forgot the people who stood by you when the people were stealing your votes? Come on, represent yourself. Thanks. Good afternoon, sir, my brother. My GT&T bill came in October, and it's $1,200, and it has $174 tax. Thank you very much. I've sent this to some people about those taxes, and I'm waiting and answering it. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. I'm asking if you can link me up with a job, preferably a customer service position, but right now anything can work. Have a lot of patience, quick learner. I'm between the ages of 18 and 21. I don't have my CXC result, but I did complete high school. Thanking you in advance, enjoying the show. Thank you very much, sir. I'm going to ask somebody, maybe if they know, and then I'm going to ask them to give you a call. Uh, uh, I hope that you find one. In the meantime, I'm going to ask a couple of friends of mine. Do we happen to have another caller? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing?
Mr. Leonard?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we are calling concerning. I'm calling from Herstelling.
Yes.
And this government, since January, we are getting any insulin. And now this new government gone in is the same tune as the Herstelling. We ain't getting no insulin. How old people, how aged people can make out? They are looking at the injection for the coronavirus, and then I look after the bringing insulin for for the clinic. Them how can we maintain ourselves with $20,000 and buy medication also? It is very hard for us. And then the next thing.
How long you getting the insulin there?
Insulin? In the Herstelling clinic? Since January we ain't getting insulin.
Yeah, because this government said that when they went into office, there was many things that were missing, diabetes medicine, and a whole bunch of stuff that was missing. For 3 years, they said that things weren't ordered. That's what the government says. So we just reporting what it says. We're not the pirate or whatever it is, like that. That what was just said there. I'm just amazed that we actually make statements, white statements, without. But that's not to you. That's to somebody else. I'm going to try to find out, and I'm going to make an announcement here when they have insulin, because the government said they ordered $3 billion in medicine.
By the time that the coronavirus kill out the diabetic people.
Yes, I know, but you got to be very careful too, right?
I'm just to look after coronavirus inject vaccine when we not get nothing.
Yeah, it is an issue.
It is very hard, sir. I know it's very hard because to know that to live on $20,000. My husband alone getting pension. I don't get pension.
Oh my! So you live by yourself alone?
I live with me and my husband.
And y'all just dependent on a $20,000 pension?
Does it $20,000 pension?
No other NIS or anything?
No, sir.
Why didn't he get NIS?
He wasn't qualified.
Pardon?
He was not qualified.
Oh, he was not qualified. Did he ever pay?
He paid a part when he was cutting cane in the young days, yes, but he was not qualified.
Oh my, this one is sad cases there. All right. I'm gonna find out a little more about this insulin.
The next thing, sir, that I would like to make a point. Robert Posada Summit was losing his memory, and he get back work again in the government, and he can't remember one thing what he signed and what he's not signed and whatever is who do it and who not do it. But now we can go sit down back in the parliament and get back a job. And at the same thing he could do, sir, you're not going to remember what he signed.
Well, he is not going back in parliament, but he has a job with the government.
Yeah, but at the same thing he just keep doing again. Signing and he can't remember what he do.
Yes, thank you very much, dear ma'am. I'm going to raise this issue and make an announcement on it,
and then again, the hamper, we can't get it $25,000 where we live until we're all about done. Then by the time the $25,000 come, now people that out. Because we can't get the medication, we can't get money to maintain ourselves. Yeah. Thank you very much for giving me an hearing aid.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And that's a very sad situation, whether we like it or not. Over the years, many of us did not see it fit or with our NIS, and it's coming back to bite us in a very hard way. This pandemic has really exposed our flanks, exposed our weaknesses. And now, if you don't have kids or you don't have anybody, like in that particular case, she and the old boy, her husband, lived together. And sorry about calling him the old boy, the husband, in Herstelling there, living on $20,000 pension, the old age pension per month. I mean, what could you do with $20,000? That's a very sad thing, unless you're getting some help, some family. People, looking forward to a little here, a little there, and everywhere. Do we happen to have another call online? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Leonard.
Yes, it is, ma'am.
Hi. I'm calling. I'm a regular listener and caller on your program. I haven't called you for a while.
Yes.
I'm calling from Caneville.
Caneville.
You know who I am.
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing?
I am good. I have two things to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, I would like to, concerning that lady, not this one that called, the one firstly, she should read today's paper, and she would see what is in the papers that the boss, the hero of Kaieteur News, that he's in the court with Mr. Ramatar. So what she's saying, she shouldn't come on the radio and say nothing. You know, she's saying, I would talk about this calling program. You're a genius, Mr. Mahadev, awesome, and Mr. Leonard. You talk for the people for all race in this country. They never talk for one, which is a PPP. You talk for justice and for democracy. From the beginning to the ending, I was listening, and I'm listening now, right now, right? That she said, but how this radio station used to be for PPP. Nonsense. No, I'm saying this is nonsense. I'm a PPP, a diehard too. And when it comes to honesty, I will talk about you, Mr. Glenn Lal, and Mr. Mahadev, and also Mr. Leonard Gildarie. And what y'all talking is the truth and nothing but the truth, right? And I will tell you, if it wasn't for you all, for me, I'm talking for me, I would never see things what I'm reading. I'm the everyday papers I buy, right? For the past week is about this oil thing, and we talking against PPP. So how she can come and talk for y'all are talking about PPP? That is nonsense. I said, remember once I called in, I said, I would like to see your boss, Mr. Glenlal, in the center page, and I would like to see you and Mr. Mahadev side, because the three of you are awesome. Now, the next thing I'd like to say about her spelling, the diagnostic clinic there. Mm-hmm. I would say kudos to the doctor there, because I was sick, and what I thought that happened to me, was not so. You know what happened to me? I was a florist, and I am still a florist, and the spray that you used to spray, that styrofoam and the flowers and so, I used to inhale it, and I never used to wear a mask. And I did it when I was 30-something years. Now I'm 70 years. Mm-hmm. And this same intoxicated, this cutlass and so, where you're spraying your yard with, it's almost 3 months or 4 months now, and this thing telling me, I have 2 x-rays. When I see the x-ray, all my children start to get, remember I tell you I never used to see my children? Mm-hmm. And when they heard that I am dying, if you see my x-ray, I had pneumonia.
Oh, my goodness.
And when the doctor told me that much, you would have never lived to see Christmas, he said, I want to see your children. And the only person that said, go with me, it's my Sharon.
I hear what you're saying.
When the doctor talked to her and said, I want you to be to your mother. And then I took another one. Huh. My neighbors around me here could talk. I used to come home with a valve in my hand. 9 injections with saline I took.
All right.
I want to say, may God bless the hand of this doctor. He is a Negro. He is not a racial doctor. And I want to say, may God bless him and bless all the nurses of our Stellan and his family. He was awesome. When I say awesome, he brought back my life. Yes, he gave me health and strength. And I took how many tests of corona and negative. And all the nurses said, we're going to put Pollock on the gate. You come in here. But I thought it was that because, you know what? I think about my life. That nobody could say, well, they come in and check for corona. And I didn't have that. It was pneumonia I had, pneumonia. And
I'm glad that you're all right now.
Yes,
well, we got to take a ad break right now. And thank you very much. And, I'm going to check you out sometime,
I want
right?
to say thank you for your radio station. And God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, my dear. All the way from Caneville on the east coast of East Bank of Demerara there behind Grove. I think we're going to take a break now because we are going to get ready to join our outgoing High Commissioner of Britain to Guyana, Greg Quinn. So we take a break now and then we head straight into that interview. He's saying goodbye and leaving us, not for good, because we're hoping to keep him.
Get ready! Singer and Frigidaire are bringing you enough winnings! 4 lucky customers will win their share of $1 million in appliances from Frigidaire when they shop at Singer. Purchase any Frigidaire item from Singer to get the chance to be one of 4 winners of Frigidaire store credit valued $250,000 each. With weekly draws, the earlier you shop, the more chances you have to win. Glam up your kitchen, fix up your laundry, get enough winnings with Singer and Frigidaire. Promotion ends December 21, 2020.
So thank you very much. Welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. We're down to the last half an hour of our show, and this time here we put aside to talk to somebody Guyana is no stranger to. He's an outgoing High Commissioner to Guyana, British High Commissioner. But he's here, he came back, he went, and then they realized that you can't do without Guyana, so you got to come back, I think, to taste some of the black water, to eat some lava, as well as to taste some pepper pot. And he's back here and then leaving. But I know that he's not going to go very far away. So I want to say welcome to you, High Commissioner. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, Leonard. I was just, what you just said there. I was looking at some of the stuff I did in August, and I remember we did a program with you and Yog, in which I was saying my goodbye then. And look, here we are in November, and I'm saying goodbye again.
No, well, sometimes life is like that. Life is very strange. But I will tell you one thing, you're not going to go very far from Guyana. Guyana is such an exciting prospect right now that I know somewhere along the line you're going to be asking for you to have some connection to Guyana. What is it that Greg Quinn is going to do? You came back temporarily to hold until your replacement comes.
Yes.
So we have a replacement now.
No, not yet, Leonard. There's still a work in progress. But funny what you're saying about I will still have a connection, very much so, because what I'm doing is I'm going back to London to head up the Caribbean team, which includes Guyana. So although I'll be on the other side of the Atlantic, I will still be involved actively day to day in what is happening here from a UK perspective.
Oh, great. So we're going to just see you maybe in another place. And Zoom is a very good tool that we have right now. And I think we're just a phone call away. So that's going to be very good. Now, I want to talk to you a couple of things. I think a couple of months back, it would have been a different thing. Let's say prior to August the 2nd. There was that very famous walkout by the diplomats out of the Ashman's building. And then we fast forward to August the 2nd, the new president in place. I want to go back because we did ask you, we're not going to go too much into what would have transpired those couple months, but I want to ask you, sir, your thoughts that you were back here and then you probably, you're not leaving, but your thoughts on those couple months, and then I would want to ask you also, going forward, what would you say to the people of Guyana? Let's go back to those couple months and what are your thoughts? You come back to Guyana and what you would have seen since you left when you come back.
I mean, I think what happened in the post-election period happened, and we've been over that quite a lot, and it was what it was, and we are now where we are. I think it's important now, and I think this is what my message, I guess, for everyone here is. There is a new era coming for Guyana. There, is a real opportunity for Guyana to develop, and I know there's a variety of discussions, and of course, as there should be, around how that development should take place, what the basis of that development would be. But I personally think that there's a very bright future for every citizen of this country. But I stress the every citizen, because the government, regardless of who is the government, need to be working for the benefit of everyone. And I think, that has to be the overriding position of any administration, regardless of whether or not people voted for them or not. They have to be focusing on what are we doing to benefit each and every citizen of Guyana. And the new government, the current administration, I'm not sure we can call it new after nearly 4 months, but the current government, has laid out a variety of very clear plans of what they want to do going forward on energy, on agriculture, on infrastructure. And I think if those are carried through, then I think everyone both whether they are along the coastal strip, whether they're in Georgetown, whether they're in the hinterland, will benefit from the opportunities which exist here at the moment. And that is certainly something which I think I personally and the UK certainly would also say is development for each and every Guyanese citizen, regardless of where they are in this country.
Thank you very much for that. And if you tune in to us at the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio, your host Leonard Gildarie, and we have the High Commissioner to Guyana, Britain, Mr. Greg Quinn. Sir, would you say that the Air Finale-led administration is striking the right chords when it comes to saying the right thing, doing the right things with the government? What you see so far, right policies maybe?
Well, there's certainly, I mean, as going back to what I just said, there's a lot of project proposals. There's a lot of infrastructure. So, as I sit here, at the moment, albeit 4 months into an administration, the government is saying all of the right things, and what it is looking to do, based on what it is saying, is exactly what it should be. And that includes as well, of course, Leonard, things like constitutional reform and electoral reform and reconciliation. And I've talked at some length about reconciliation given the Northern Ireland background. So I think, there's development that needs to be done on the social front, there's political development, there's economic development. So there's a lot to be done to ensure that Guyana develops in a way which benefits each and every person here.
Mm-hmm. Lovely, lovely. And I know that Britain is working along with Guyana with a number of projects and so on. What are some of the projects for somebody who is not familiar with it?
Well, I mean, there's I'll try and remember all of them because I lose count sometimes. But there's things like the Linden Mabura Hills Road and the bridge at Kurapakari. There's the Smart Hospital project, and you'll have seen Minister Anthony down at Diamond over the weekend looking at the work there, and that's going to be the first completed Smart Hospital. We continue to do stuff on forestry. Obviously, security sector reform remains the same. We're very active at the moment because obviously we have we're hosting the climate change conference of parties next November in Glasgow. It's meant to be this November, but obviously COVID stopped all that. So there's a lot of work being done on the environment front, especially given the fact that countries such as Guyana are particularly vulnerable to climate events. And then, of course, we can't forget about, the big elephant in the room this year, which has actually been COVID. Mm-hmm. And one of the things which we as the UK have been doing is to try and ensure that all countries, have equitable access to a vaccine. Now, we have the good news at the moment where there are at least 3 very positive vaccine trials which have produced very positive results. And that, I think, is good for everyone. Now, what we need to do is ensure that those vaccines are made available to everybody, not just to the developed world or those who can necessarily afford it as such. So that's why we as the UK have so far put in the region of $1.1 billion into a mechanism to ensure $1.1 billion US dollars into a mechanism which ensures countries like Guyana will have access to that vaccine. Because ultimately, this is a pandemic which affects all of us, and we all need, it affects the globe, and we all need to address the concerns and address the issue together.
Would you say, I think a couple of days back, I would have seen that the British Parliament would have been voting for not a lockdown.
Yes.
Would you say, sir, what would you say to the people of Guyana when it comes to not having a cavalier attitude? There's some people who would accuse a certain section of the Guyana populace of, having a cavalier attitude when it comes to the way that we're treating this pandemic, how serious we're treating it by the bars being open and so many other things, mingling and parties and so on. What would you say to the people of Guyana? How serious is this?
I mean, I think there are lots of people in the UK who might not necessarily agree with what is going on, but I think there's a broad acceptance that, this is a real disease and it's a real killer disease. I mean, the number of people who have died in the UK, which I think is now over 50,000, about 55,000 or so, is more than what they termed the reasonable worst case scenario when this started earlier on this year. So I think, I know it's difficult in wearing masks and social distancing and being away from people, is very difficult, but it is, I think, necessary. At the same time, of course, we all fully understand the economic impact, and there's been a huge economic impact as a result of this in Guyana and across the globe. I mean, the UK, we have lost somewhere in the region of 25% of our GDP this year as a result of COVID. So there's a balance to be had, I think, between making sure people are able to earn a living and survive, but also fighting the disease. But at the same time, it's saying that as having that balance, each and every one of us have got a personal responsibility to do what we can to stop this pandemic. And that means things like wearing masks whenever you're outside or you're meeting people, limiting the number of people that you interact with, maintaining social distancing. And so, that's a personal responsibility as much as a governmental or a legal responsibility. And I think certainly when this thing started, in March or whatever, I think I did one of my video messages in March, sort of urging everybody to take this seriously and to do what is necessary. And yes, it's tough, and we're 9 months later, and this thing's still there. But we are on the cusp of a vaccine, on the cusp of being able to beat this thing, but it's not over yet. And I think we all need to make a few more sacrifices for a little bit more time.
I do thank you for that, High Commissioner. I want to bring you to, you spoke about the elephant in the room not too long ago, but I want to bring you to the situation, oil and gas. Big thing for Guyana. It's one of the biggest things. You would have been here in 2015 when there was that major announcement by ExxonMobil. Fast forward to 2020 now, we have started the oil production and we're moving very rapidly into other areas. But I want to ask you, sir, because one of the big criticisms, you look at the Kaieteur newspaper and others about what is happening here. We have a couple of issues moving forward with some oil blocks, and we have the government in place. And so in your view, because I know certain things you might not be able to comment on, but I want to ask you, how does Guyana move forward out of here with some of the dilemma that we find ourselves in, and not to make the same mistakes that other countries who would have gone through this would have made? They could have discovered Trinidad, for example. I think it's Keith Rowley would have said, we are now finding out a couple of years later, about 50, 60 years later, about some of the mistakes that would have made then. What do you say to the government or maybe to the authorities about how we could get ourselves out of this dilemma?
Well, I mean, I'm very much, and always have been, and I've said this to you before, Leonard, said to lots of other people, I'm very much of the glass half full attitude. And I very much believe that oil and gas here, and it has to be managed properly, and the funds from it have to be used properly, is a benefit for Guyana and for everyone here. And you see that in the economic growth figures for this country. I think in terms of what PM Riley said, and also our own experience in the UK, there are always lessons to be learned. And, maybe there's a little bit of looking at what we have done wrong. And certainly whenever we had the Lord Provost, the Lord Mayor of Aberdeen out here last year, and he's still in touch with people here, he's quite openly talked about things which Aberdeen, or the UK, did wrong whenever we discovered oil in the 60s and 70s. And one of the biggest, I think, things, and this is relevant going forward, is that you don't just think of an oil and gas economy. This is not an economy where everybody is going to get a job, because it's a finite economy. So what you need to do is to make sure the money that you get from oil and gas is used to develop agriculture, is used to develop education, is used to develop a broad range of skills, healthcare, social services and such like. So that's what I think people should be looking at. Not so much, am I going to get a job or whatever in the oil and gas business, but how is that money going to be used to develop the country? Now, at the same time, there's a very clear need to make sure that the country benefits appropriately from an oil and gas production. And this is why you have things like local content legislation being drafted, the Petroleum Commission, the Natural Resources Fund, and such like. Because, ultimately, it is vital, and it's one of the things which I stress to British companies every time I talk to them, is do not think you can come in here, set up an office, make your money and leave. What you need to be thinking about is coming in here, working in partnership with a Guyanese company or Guyanese workers or businesses, so that both sides benefit. And then, it is perfectly right that the UK company must make a profit for the return on its investment. But at the same time, Guyana has to benefit properly through taxes, through developing the workforce, through upskilling of the workforce and whatever. And a lot of this stuff is upskilling in things which are not unique to the oil and gas company, the oil and gas industry. If you look at Aberdeen, for example, now, a lot of the skills, because of course the North Sea oil fields are diminishing, but in terms of, if you look at Aberdeen now, Aberdeen is a leader in renewable energy. So a lot of the skills which were used to maintain the oil industry are now being used to build wind farms. One of the biggest wind farms in Europe is offshore Aberdeen. So, the important thing is building the skills which can then be used in other areas. But overall, Leonard, and I know, and I read the Kaieteur news every day, and I read all the stuff that comes out in various other places, I'm still very strongly of the view that oil and gas is good for Guyana.
Yes, I do thank you for that. And, as we wind down to program time, I know that it was very short, but I could not, when I learned that you're leaving as early. I think tomorrow you're leaving?
It's tomorrow, yeah.
I said I had to get the High Commissioner onto this program, even if it's just 5 minutes. So we had about 15, 20 minutes with you, which I think it's still a very good thing. But I know that you're not going to be far away, and I hope that we can engage you on this radio program sometime or the other again, because I know that you would be paying attention to the Caribbean, which you would have responsibilities for. Sir,
definitely.
In closing, you could tell us a little about our good food that we had here, but I also would want you to take the opportunity and maybe have some words of encouragement to the people of Guyana as to what they need to do. Maybe I leave the floor open to you to say it.
To sum up, Leonard, I've drunk the creek water, I've eaten the lobby, I've come back several times, so obviously I'm coming back again. I have no doubt. But I have, I came here originally for 3 years. I'm leaving after 5 years and 9 months. Each of those extensions I have wanted to do and I have asked to do. I have loved this country. I have loved the people here. I have loved every moment of time here, both good and bad. And I think there is a hugely bright future for Guyana to be a regional leader and a global leader. And I think my final message is, the way I have lived my life, which is think of the glass half full, not half empty, because things are going very much in the right direction.
I do thank you for that, and it's always such a deep pleasure to have Mr. Greg Quinn, and he is no other than the High Commissioner, the outgoing High Commissioner of Britain to Guyana. Sir, I want to wish you all the best on behalf of Kaieteur Radio, Kaieteur News, and I know that you're not going to be far away. We are going to continue to engage you. You do happen to have a lot of advice, so have a pleasant rest of the day and the next few hours. And until we touch base again, and to all the staffers and everybody that you are in contact with in Guyana, a good day to you too. Have a pleasant rest of the day, sir.
Thank you very much, Leonard. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So if you're not joining us, this has been the Wake Up Show, and our guest here for a very short while, unfortunately, would have been Mr. Greg Quinn. He is the High Commissioner to Guyana, would have played a role in 2 elections, one in 2015, one in 2020, and now he left a little early, a couple of months back, after his tenure would have been up. Now he's back in Guyana. He was here holding on for his replacement. Now his time is up, and now he's finally leaving again. So, of course, you always talk to people like this when the history books are going to be written. These are people who are going to be featured, whether they'd be looked at favorably or otherwise. What we do know is that Greg Quinn would have been one of the players in the history of Guyana. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, we thank you very much. Maybe time for very quickly we could read a couple of messages. Hi, good afternoon. I think all working persons that has elderly person in the home and persons who have underlying conditions should at all times wear masks in the home. It's just sad that the government paying too much attention with COVID patients, where most of the COVID persons are just careless, and persons that have underlying condition are left to suffer a lot. These persons have other health issues that need surgery, and they are left to suffer living with pain. Women who have fiber left to suffer bleeding away and can't get through with the surgery. I heard they started doing back surgery, but people are struggling. Thank you very much for that. I thank you very much. Let me see. Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon. You know what? I tell you, some people are like computer. What you feed them, that's what they bring out. That lady needs a lot more. Need to read a lot more. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. After listening to that woman, I thought to myself that what the likes of people like her, we even lie down for them to walk on. They will accuse you and they don't lie down. If you don't lie down fast enough. Anyway, bro, keep up the good works. I'm not sure. I'm not too bothered. I believe that the lady has a right to say whatever she has to say. I have a right to defend myself, and that's how democracy works. However, we can't mix up what are the facts of our country and the facts of what history is. You cannot change facts. My brother, I wish everybody in Guyana, every radio station in Guyana can speak the way you're speaking through. Always appreciate you said. Thank you very much for the good work. Don't make anyone stop you. My brother have an issue with the light company. My family has a small house and 4 lights and a freezer, 1 TV. Every month the light bill comes 20,000, 25,000, 30,000. When my relative go to GPL, they give them a wrong. This is happening on the West Coast. How can this happen to poor people? 225-1471, 225-1471. Let somebody call GPL and make a complaint to them or have it registered. They've spoken to Kaieteur News, Kaieteur Radio, and let's let's get them awakened up about this particular case. Good afternoon, brother. My GT&T bill come. Okay, I work with a guy in the bush and he didn't pay me. How can I get a complaint to Ministry of Labor in Brickdam? You could raise a complaint with that person, with the people along there about your non-payment. Good afternoon, sir. There's a pothole in the Avenue of the Republic next to the stoplight to the Pleasant Bus Park. It's causing traffic to build up. Can the Ministry of Public Works go and fill it so that the traffic can flow freely? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me see here. Good job, Leonard. You put her firmly in her place. Sorry about that. I didn't put anybody. I just said the fact that it is. Please, okay. 6,800,994. At this point in time, we'd have to say it's wrap-up time. You are tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. This is your host, Leonard Gildarie. We would have had the outgoing High Commissioner of Britain to Guyana, Greg Quinn, there a short while ago. If you've missed this program, you could relook at it, or you came late, you could relook at it on Kaieteur Radio. Kaieteur Radio on Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. We would have been coming to you live here on 99.1 in Esquimalt and Demerara, 99.5 in Berbice. Wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, if you had a birthday today, a happy birthday to you. If you would have had some occasion or if there's a death in the family, or deepest condolences, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with us. Remember, this country is yours. You can't protect it. Nobody could protect it the way that you can. Open your mouth, be a good citizen, pay attention, watch, write letters, raise issues with your NDC. Do not stay quiet. Do not keep quiet. Open your mouths and say something. Have a pleasant rest of the day. Until tomorrow.